Hey everybody, Derek here to bring you another video for The Walking Dead Season 5. We are about a week away from the upcoming season premiere. It is very exciting, folks. I have no doubt that we are coming back to a very great season. The mid-season finale definitely left us with a lot of questions, and I think that we're going to see, what's going to happen, and it's going to be very good. And this video is going to be oriented towards what's ahead because Walking Dead today has released the next 3 episode titles and synopsis. So that's episodes 10, 11, and 12 because they already released 9. Now they have 10, 11, and 12. And I'm going to read the synopsis, give my thoughts about what it means, what it's going to entail perhaps, and where we're going. So just in case you are not caught up on Walking Dead or you do not want to be spoiled in any way, this is a major spoiler video. So if you don't want to be spoiled, please do not watch. Okay. So if you remember, episode 9, basically was focusing on the group making a detour. And it's looking like they really will be on the move, it seems, throughout the whole entire 9th episode, it would seem. Because what we have here is, for Season 5, Episode 10, it's called Them. And it says, the group feels beaten after living life on the road, but must continue to trudge along in spite of the changes that have incurred. So, that definitely leaves me with a lot of questions. What exactly has happened? Which also leads me to believe that, again, that there will be some kind of a time jump in between the mid-season finale and episode 9, or maybe even perhaps episode 10 might be when that time jump happens. Because, it's really being like, living life on the road. If you're only living on the road for a couple days, I mean, yeah, it's not going to be easy. And especially with Walking Dead world, it's not going to be easy. But I don't think that you would necessarily be beaten down, especially after Rick and the group, has done this before in the past, all throughout the winter. So it's clear that to me that there has been, time in between the mid-season finale and maybe either episode 9 or episode 10. I'm more inclined to think that we're going to have a time jump right at episode 9. And I'm getting the feeling that something may happen in episode 9. I mean, I don't know if they would necessarily do another character death this early. I have made a character death predictions video, predicting that perhaps Noah, well, more likely that Noah will die at some point in this second part of season 5 due to the fact that he's joined the Criminal Minds spinoff that they're doing, and based on some storyline plus some casting news for Chad L. Coleman, we may be saying goodbye to Tyrese. I don't know if they would kill them off right away. But the thing that's saying is that they must continue to trudge along in spite of the changes they have incurred. So what are the changes? Now, they could just be referring to, everything that happened back in the mid-season finale, and just everything in general that has happened to them. Because again, if there is a time jump, it's not going to be, in my opinion, like 6 months later, something like that. It's going to be, in my opinion, a few weeks, at most maybe a month. I can't see them doing any more than that because otherwise you're missing out on, stories that you could do with, Maggie trying to cope with losing Beth. And I just think that there are a lot of storylines that they need to explore, and in order to do that, you can't jump too far ahead. So they could just be talking about, everything that the group has encountered with, losing the prison and losing the cure hope and losing the hope of Terminus being something, Beth dying. It may just be that. Plus, remember in episode 9 synopsis, it talked about a detour, that the group was going to take. And part of me is thinking that, that may have been Noah's uncle's Richmond community. So that may have been the detour that the group was hoping for, and they get there and just nothing. Nobody's there. So there is that possibility that was the detour. That turned out to be bust, and now they're on the road again. God knows where they're going, and it definitely is a lot of leaves you with a lot of questions about what's going to happen in episode 10. Now, one thing I can guarantee that will happen is, you remember in my predictions video after the Another Day trailer came out, excuse me, I talked about that there was a storm coming. And you could tell just because, there was rain, there was lightning, there was heavy winds, they were pushing the doors shut, in one of the houses. If you ask me, it almost certainly is going to happen in that episode. So that may be the change as well. That the weather's gotten worse, and that they're going to need to continue to keep moving. Excuse me, I have a cough today. They're going to have to keep moving in order to, prevent them from getting overtaken by walkers, overtaken by the storm, things like that. So you definitely have to wonder what changes have occurred, if there were, or are they referring to, just what's happened before. We don't know. But here's why I know that the storm happened in this episode. And that's because of episode 11's synopsis and title. I mean, it goes along with it. And it's called The Distance. And this reads, now this is major. This is some good stuff. After withstanding a spectacular storm, okay, Rick and the others meet what appears to be a friendly person, but find themselves mistrustful. What does that seem to indicate? Well, if you are a comic book fan like I am, this is the part in the story where they meet a man named Aaron. And Aaron basically comes out, he's like, hey guys, how you doing? And he really does, portray a friendly person. And I really hope that they stick quite a bit with what they did in the comics with him, because he really is friendly. I mean, he comes out, he's like, hey, how you doing? Like, literally waving his hand and smiling. And everybody's like, who the heck is this guy and what is he doing? And it's really funny. Normally in real life, if somebody's doing that, you're happy to see that they're having a good day, they're happy to see you, whatever. And, you give them a hug or things like that. Well, they proceed to knock Aaron out in the comics, and Rick's like, if somebody's smiling, that kind of has me worried. And that's very interesting. It's definitely a very different take that you can have on people in the Walking Dead world. So again, so they run into somebody that appears to be a friendly person. I think for all intents and purposes, we can basically say that this is Aaron. Or it may be Eric, or it may be some other character, but no matter what, I think that this is the person that is going to basically be the connecting bridge between Rick's group getting to the next part of the story, which is the Alexandria safe zone, but find themselves mistrustful. And it makes sense. The thing is Rick's group, as we know, they've been through a lot, and it has been hard. I can only imagine, how they must be feeling right now. After losing the prison, after finding out, that Terminus was just a bunch of, cannibals, and you had the hope of going there, what makes you think this guy walking out of the woods and going, hey, how you doing? I got this great, place that you guys can come to. Well, come on, that's Terminus times 2. That's that again for the group, and all they can think of right now is, hey, what happened the last time when somebody said there was sanctuary in some nice little place? We almost got eaten. And that's going to be a lot of their thinking. Now, what I think is really going to happen in this episode, as we know, again, the storm is probably going to happen in episode 10. But with episode 11, I think that the group is going to be trying to regroup, try to figure out where to go from here. And I think that we're going to have a lot of group debate. I think that this is going to be the big moment where each person is basically going to be voicing their own opinion about this guy. And this may be where Michonne's quote, from the trailer comes in about, having hope or having one more chance, things like that. I think this may be where it comes in. And I have no doubt in my mind that not everybody is going to be, solid about going to this place. I think, Rick is going to be very vocal against it. And basically, you're going to have group members taking sides. That maybe Michonne, Tyrese, maybe if he's still alive at this point, I hope he is. I mean, don't get me wrong. But people like that, they may be set on going, saying, hey, it's a chance, And I think that you're just going to see group members taking sides, trying to figure things out. And I feel like something has to happen. And again, this may be an episode where a character does die. I've often thought, something in the story that could make these characters want to go to the Alexandria safe zone would be for somebody to die. And realizing, how dangerous of a world it is, and it's only a matter of time before every single one of them dies if they stay out in the open with all these walkers and the harsh, conditions that are going on out here. And I think that it's either going to happen in this episode or it's going to happen before that. Maybe not, I just think that, it's more likely than not. But it may just be that something happens in episode 9 where, the community is bust. They get to the next part of the story where there's this big, huge storm. Probably some people almost die because of it. And that may be, just the reason that they use for wanting to go. So it doesn't necessarily mean that a character is going to die, but I think that if a character does die, either in episode 11 or episode 10, maybe even episode 9, I hope not that early, but we'll see. It may be the inspiration to get everybody on board. It'll be very interesting to see Rick in that episode, because I think that what we're going to see is, the whole season, the theme has been people aren't listening to Rick, and you see that consistently. When Rick wanted to kill the people at Terminus after they got out, everybody said no. Rick wanted the group to stay together, they separated. Rick wanted to go in and slit some throats, they want to do a hostage exchange. And you see how, a lot of those things went badly because they didn't listen to Rick. I mean, you can debate, but I just think that when you look at the way that Rick went about things, it really would have saved lives had everything gone right, And I think that there's going to be some people who are going to fall into place with him at this part of the story, but that maybe, with a little bit of convincing with Carl. And I think that this is going to be where they're really going to use Carl. Carl being the guy who still has hope in this world, which is an amazing turnaround for him. Because you saw, back in Strangers, when he was dead set on saving Gabriel. Everybody else is like, wait, what are we going to do? And Carl's just like, come on, we got to save this guy. This kid is going to be a big influence, I think, on getting Rick to agree to go to the Alexandria safe zone. So I really look forward to the dialogue that's going to happen in this episode, just with every character in general. But it's clear that at this point, they are going to be going somewhere new, or something changes. But you'll see what I mean here. It's in episode 12, season 5, episode 12. It's called Remember. And this one says, the group has a difficult time molding to a new lifestyle, forcing them to consider whether they can be the people they once were. That's almost indicative that they will make it to the Alexandria safe zone, or at least something, by this episode. So it'll definitely give us time to, build the story and introduce us to new characters if this is where they're going. I'm almost dead certain that they are going to the Alexandria safe zone, and it's pretty clear here. A new lifestyle. What could be any newer than finding yourself in a community that's walled, that's safe, per se, with people that are nice and, well, that appear to be nice, and now you see me, I'm starting to be mistrustful, but, you see the point. This is something that they've been wanting since they lost the prison, I think. Deep down inside, losing the prison they lost hope. And I think that in their minds, they always wanted something like the prison again. And this is it. This is the opportunity for them that they've been waiting for. But after everything that has happened to them since leaving the prison, after, encountering the hunters, Terminus, losing Beth, and maybe some other things happen in between in episodes 9 and 10, can they really become, the people that they once were? Because you can't be going around doing certain things in the community. And you see in the comics where that does get some of the characters into trouble, or it affects the way that they think. So definitely a lot of interesting things going on here. But it seems to me that by the time we get to episode 12, they will be in the Alexandria safe zone. And I can't wait to see it. This has been an amazing season. And they've really progressed a lot in the story. And I didn't think they were going to make it there till near the end. And here they're making it technically in the middle of season 5, part 2. And they're going to have time to, build up stories with several different people. I mean, we know that Alexandra Breckenridge is portraying somebody in the show. Most likely they're going to be in the Alexandria safe zone. And we have, Ross Marquand. We have several people coming into the story. And they're going to be able to build on those characters. And they're going to be able to build on, to some of the stories that they can work towards in season 6. Definitely going to be nice. And I can't wait to see it. And I think it's very clear that we're going to be going in a totally different story. Definitely things changing. And that may be for the better, with Walking Dead. I think season 5's been great overall. But, anytime they change the story up, definitely opens the possibility to new ideas, new stories, and it definitely piques our interest. Because after a while, you do get tired of seeing the same thing. I'm not there yet, but you get the point. I mean, if they were still at the prison at this point, I think that it would be very hard for them to be making exciting stories. The comics, it's just a different world. It's a different kind of writing technique. Whereas here, you really need to be able to keep your audience in the moment and in the future. So, I can't wait. These were definitely great to read. Definitely got me excited, and I want this Super Bowl over with so that we can get back to Walking Dead. I'm very excited. So that's all I have today. If you guys have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I have more videos coming. And if there's anything that you guys want to see right before we get back to season 5, just let me know. If there's a video you've been wanting to see, help you count down this last week, don't be afraid to let me know. I'm definitely really looking forward to it. I do have a couple more videos coming. And again, I just want to thank every single one of you that's been following along with me since season 5 started. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And if your team is in the Super Bowl, good luck to them. Hopefully they win. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.